Alright everybody, welcome back. Today is Friday. It is 8 p.m. at night. In western Wisconsin it is currently 8 below zero. No wind, thank God. But it's cold. And it's going to be cold for the next couple of days. So, what better time than right now to make a couple videos of answering a couple questions. I don't know if I should have the light up, light down. Harder to see my ugly face if I have the light down. Make a couple videos quick tonight to upload over the next couple of days, answering a couple of questions that a few of you folks have had for me. Yeah, so we're gonna answer some questions here. Like I say, it's 8 below right now, cold. It's supposed to be cold until, I think next Tuesday they're talking. Next Tuesday it looks like it could be 30, but they're talking snow again, which is fine. 30 degrees and snow is better than 20 below and no snow, because it's getting really rough out there with the skid loader. And my skid loader needs a suspension seat bad. That might have to come before next year. But so yeah, it's not very warm out in the shop either, but it's warmer in here than it is outside. It's 44, and you're probably going to hear my fan running most of the time. But I did turn it down to the fan speed on low, so hopefully it's not going to compete with me. So maybe you can hear me better than in the last video. Anyways, this first video that I'm going to make right now, this question is, do you have any regrets from the 2016 season? I do have some regrets, some things I wish I would have done differently. I went into the 2016 season thinking that I was going to get a little bit out of the cattle business and try and get into the cash crop business. And now, with the way markets are going, I don't really regret buying the combine. Financially, it did set me back. So I don't really know if I want to call buying the combine a regret or not. What I paid for it was a really good price. It's a really good machine. But yes, it did set me back financially. Got a mouse running around my shop. So I don't know if I really want to count the combine as a regret, maybe, or a bad decision. The money probably could have been spent well elsewhere. But what I feel was maybe a bad decision was selling cows this year. A lot of you guys that have been watching me through the summer know that I sold 9 cows this year. I was at 26 cows and heifers, and now I'm down to, there's 15 cows out there and then 3 heifers. So it's actually probably more than, well, I was at 27 cows. My math in my head isn't the greatest. I was up to 27, and I sold those 9. The regret of that is the cattle market right now looks better than the cash crop market. And after watching some of the things tonight, it kind of scares me what could happen with beans this next year, because corn, you can't, it's hard to make money on corn right now. It's below $3. And if things go downhill with beans, I don't think there's going to be much money to be made in beans either. So I'm a little nervous about that, because this year I was planning on planting a lot of beans. Being I'm down in cow numbers, I don't need near as much ground to make feed for my cows, so all the other ground that I don't need was going to go into beans, which it's going to go into beans one way or the other, because now I don't have enough cattle that need all the land to put up feed for them. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed that beans don't continue to drop. I have not looked at what the commodity prices are lately, but it's just something I saw in one of the farming deals that, you know, the headline was, do we think we can see $6 beans this next year or in the near future? I hope not. I feel bad enough for all you guys that are selling corn for less than $3 a bushel now. And now if beans drop, you know, tank out too, I don't know. I guess that's why I've kind of diversified a little bit. The whole idea with buying the combine and selling some of the cows was so I not only have income from the cattle, but I have income from raising pigs, which I buy feeder pigs in the spring and I sell them in the fall because that's when all my customers want them. They want to put them in the freezer in the fall. And I like them right before deer hunting because the pigs go to the butcher, they get back what they want for the freezer for pork, and then a lot of the trimmings the butcher mixes with their venison for making all their, you know, their beef sticks and snacks and whatnot. So I don't raise pigs in the winter anymore. I did for 3 years. It costs way too much money to feed pigs through the winter. They eat way too much feed in the winter for the little bit that they gain. And I don't have a customer base that really likes to buy them in the spring. I've got lucky every year and would finally sell them all. I have yet to ever sell a pig at a sale barn. There's no money to be made selling pigs at the sale barn that I can pencil out anyways. Especially with what feeder pigs are bringing right now and with what you have in inputs in the feed for 40-45 cents a pound at the butcher or at the sale barn. I can't pencil out a profit. And if there is, it's $20 a head, and that's not figuring any of your time or labor, or your electric or anything else into it. So, so that's the beef, pigs during the summer, and then I wanted to raise corn and beans. So I'm spreading my income out over 4 different commodities, or 4 different things. But the cash crops don't look too promising. So my regret is selling those 9 beef. What I should have done instead of selling those beef is I should have made the pasture bigger so I had more to feed them through the summer. I don't know that I really was running out of feed in the pasture, but I didn't want to get to where I was running out of feed, and now I wish I would have just fenced another 5 acres in the pasture and kept those 9 cows. So that's my biggest regret of 2016. I think that in the long run I'd have made more money with those 9 cows than I will off of beans or corn here in the next couple of years. Other than that, I don't really have any other regrets. The biggest thing is selling those 9 cows because I think they're more promising for making a profit over the next couple of years than the corn and the beans. But we can't go back and change that. And this year, the plan is we're going to add more pasture. So we're going to have less tillable ground home. We're going to go more pasture. And I'm not going to sell any more cows for a while. And all my calves are going to be... They're not going to be in a lot this summer. They're going to be out on pasture. I don't know if I'm going to run them with the cows and the calves or if I'm going to fence them separate in their own pasture so I can manage them differently. That's all. That's kind of the plan for the coming year. This last year I had around 35 acres of pasture, and what I have planned for the next year, what I have drawn up on a map, be a little over 42 acres. And with what I'm putting into pasture, that's going back into pasture, some better ground. Normally we average around 3.5 to 4 ton of hay per acre off of it, so it's really good ground. It'll go a long ways for feeding more cows and calves, and I don't know for sure what we're going to do in the future, but I am going to build the herd back up. For right now, until my pasture ground is stocked to the right density that I can't put any more cows on there, or it's going to be cow, calf, and then yearlings. Once it gets to be where I have matched what that can handle, its handling capacity, then we will probably switch over to the yearlings will stay on the steer lot in the spring, and they'll be finished on the cement pad, and we will continue to grow the beef cows, the herd. And once I get to that point, the rental ground and my northland that is all going to be beans, cash crops, that will go back into feed for cattle to feed the animals that'll be on the lot all summer. So that's kind of the plan. But things change. But as of right now, that's kind of the plan. But I think that the cattle are going to be more lucrative than the corn and the beans. But I am keeping the combine because I'm not going to go back to cob corn. Cob corn, it's great feed, but it's not great feed. The cob has too much fiber in it, and for growing pigs, it looks like more on paper. There's more tonnage there of feed to feed them, but the cob just slows them down, it seems like. It's good to fill their belly, but they don't grow fast on it, where shell corn, they grow much faster. So I'm not going back to cob corn. I might pick a load or two just to keep using the corn picker. It's not worth anything. It's not even worth really anything in scrap, but it does work. So I may pick a load or two a year just to have here. And you never know, if the cows start looking like they need some extra stuff, I can grind some cob corn for them or whatever. It'd be fine for the cows, but nothing you're trying to put a lot of weight on fast. I mean, you can. I've had nutritionists draw up feed rations for grinding cob corn with oats and whatever else, but I'm not going to. Like I say, I'll pick a couple loads maybe for feeding the cows or whatever, but not for calves and not for finishing steers. But that's kind of where we're going. We're going to try and build the herd back up, do the cash crop thing in the meantime while the herd builds back up, and we're still hoping to pick up more ground, basically more pasture. Right now, with what I have, with what my good ground produces, and I'm comparing my hillsides with other open hillsides that I have. Once I get my woods opened up, and I'm hoping to get them to produce what I can get my other hillsides to produce. On my pasture that I'm going to build this summer, I'm hoping down the road it should carry 25 cows, calves, and yearlings. That's kind of the goal, and once I get to 25, once I get a bunch more heifers that go back out with the cows, then we will not put steers out with the cows anymore. And worst comes to worst, my pasture is going to be, I can get equipment out to my pastures to cut excess hay or whatever, surplus hay. So that's kind of where we're going with that. And if we can pick up some more ground, we're going to add to the pasture, and we're just going to keep growing that route. And if it works out where we don't have to sell land to buy this land, we'll keep doing the cash crop too. And as long as the cash crop can pay for the land and the tax payment and income and the inputs on it, it'll be worth it in the long run, because the land is worth something. You know, if you can get the land paid off, then it's money in your pocket. But in the meantime, as long as it can pay for itself, it'll be worth it. So, but anyways, that's the only real regret that I have from this last year is selling those cows, because I think they would have, you know, been better off in the future having them. But other than that, there's not really any of the other decisions really that I made that I regret. This year I didn't get the custom baling that I normally get. A couple of people that I baled for, they chopped everything. They didn't make any dry hay this year, so I lost 3 different customers who I baled for, and the only custom round baling job I got for corn stalks was for my buddy that I traded baling for corn stalks on. Otherwise, normally in years in the past, I have baled for one guy 2,000 to 3,000 bales a year, and that was kind of the plan, not this fall, but the year before when I bought the 6400, that I was going to bale a whole farm for a guy. And the income off of that baling job would have paid off that 6400, or it would have paid off the baler and another piece of equipment. So, but I had no say in that job. They were after me all summer to bail. That, you know, you're gonna be ready to bail. You're gonna be ready to bail. Yep, I'm ready to bail. And I even said before I bought the 6400, hey, you sure you want me to bail that whole farm, because I'm gonna go buy a tractor then. Yep. Well, when it come down to it, I didn't get the baling job, and I'd already bought the tractor. So, but that's a regret from the year before. But that was again out of my hands. I couldn't change that. So, and a lot of you have watched the video before this, how to get started. That's why I stress in there, don't go into debt getting started, because when you do get in debt, it's hard to get back out of debt. I could sell the tractor, but the worst part is I sold a tractor that was paid off after I bought this tractor, and it's real hard to farm with only one tractor. It can be done, but when I'm going on corn silage, it's no fun hooking one tractor to the chopper, go fill the boxes, unhooking the chopper, using the same tractor to unload the wagons. So I like to have a minimum of 2 tractors, but I really like to have 3. And the 60 I don't really count as a tractor because I don't really use it. It's more of a toy than anything. So, but for right now we can get by with 2, and that's what we're gonna do. So, that's to answer the question on if I have any regrets from 2016. I can't think of anything else, but it's selling those cows. So, anyways, I hope that answered your question. Any more comments or questions, feel free to ask me, and I will make a video of it. So, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Please comment, hit the thumbs up. You all have a great day. Catch you on the next one.